Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about this Adaptec RAID card. This is the AAR-2400A. It is one of two that Adaptec ever made. It can handle up to 4 drives, I think either in RAID 0, 1, 5, and 10. This is the only IDE card ever offered by Adaptec that actually works in the Novell Netware operating system, but unfortunately, it's not a perfect card by any stretch of the imagination. This thing is huge, and for cases designed back in the day, it's kind of a rock in a hard place, because if you put this thing in a normal ATX case, it's not going to likely work, but unless it's one of those entry-level cases that only take 2 drives, or if you manage to put all 4 drives in it, you have to use some rails to use the 5 1/4 bays. It's so really not the most practical thing, but we'll see how it performs. So what I'm going to hook it up in is this old Intel 845 series board. It's not ideal to leave it sit loose like this, but that's what we got, so that's what we're going to do. But with the magic of video editing, I'll get this thing hooked up, and we'll get some hard drives hooked up, and we'll going to try and install Windows XP on this card. It does support that, and I don't need any special drivers for Windows XP to install, so we'll see how that goes. And I am back, and holy smokes, look at this setup. And look at the mess. Now, this one isn't necessarily Adaptec's fault. IDE cables are just bulky, messy, and they just look like crap. But anywho, with RAID, regardless of what the card is, you will want matching drives with matching specs if at all possible. Every drive I have here is a Quantum Fireball SE. They're all 4.3 gigabytes respectively. And that's about as magic as you can get. So now I gotta turn this computer on. And actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this card down a slot, because all my jumpers are there, and I just don't feel comfortable taking the screwdriver to something that close. So with video editing, I am going to move that card down one slot, and I'll be right back. And I am back, and holy smokes, look at this setup. And look at the mess. Now, this one isn't necessarily Adaptec's fault. IDE cables are just bulky, messy, and they just look like crap. But anywho, with RAID, regardless of what the card is, you will want matching drives with matching specs if at all possible. Every drive I have here is a Quantum Fireball SE. They're all 4.3 gigabytes respectively. And that's about as magic as you can get. So now I gotta turn this computer on. And actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this card down a slot, because all my jumpers are there, and I just don't feel comfortable taking the screwdriver to something that close. So with video editing, I am going to move that card down one slot, and I'll be right back. And we are back, and our mess is still very much intact, so let's see if we can short the right pins out. There we go. Drives themselves sound okay. Let's hit Control A to get into setup. Let's scroll down and see what we got. ATA 100. I don't know if I can expand these anymore. It's supposed to be able to. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. Let's see if it'll let me create one. There are no RAID drives capable, so let's make boot floppy. That. I hope I'm supposed to clear the config, so I'm going to try that right now. You sure you want to exit? Yes, I do. Oh, there it goes. Drives themselves being those quantum fireballs, they actually don't sound too bad. Let's see what we get this time. Yeah, no drives. Yeah, it's very interesting. Let's see what we can create a RAID. No free drives available. Huh? Hold on a minute. Let's try. Can't get any of these drives to work. I don't know, this is going to be a relatively short video. This is interesting. Yeah, still no drives. Well, let me make sure everything's correctly configured on this card, and I'll be right back. And I am back yet again, and now you notice something a little bit different. We have detected a couple of drives. So, what I found out is that these quantum fireballs will not work with this card. The drives you put in this card have to be ATA 66 or ATA 100. And the fireballs are just one step below that. So, for those that were hoping to have a sympathy of belt sander grade drives, this is not the video for you. But I did find a couple drives that were identical. Some Hitachi Desk Star drives, Death Stars, about 41.1 gigs. So let us go. There's a setting that I want to undo here. Yeah, maybe. Oh, we're going to go create a raid. When you do that, you go to R, you create, and I only have 3 options in this case. It's raid 0, 1, and 5, so we'll go 1. And that's... how interesting. Too few. Okay. Well. Oh, you go down and select. You hit the space bar. Then you can hit done. And the raid 1, it really doesn't matter. I'm just gonna keep the defaults, and we got a raid. And save the config. It's a very, very simple raid card. Very few options. And now we have our raid 1, so that's a good sign. I think there's a partition on these drives. We'll see. Now, if you were doing a Windows 2000 install, you would need to have a 3.5-inch floppy drive on here and the corresponding drivers on a diskette. There would be a spot for you to press F1 or F2 to go install that driver. It'll look like it doesn't do anything, but it actually does. This is going nice and slow for whatever reason. Yeah, this would be the point you press F6 if you needed to install a RAID card driver. And it'll go through the motions. I have an old Sony DVD writer, is just still chugging away, my last living IDE CD DVD device. If you really wanted to get creative with these boot disks and you didn't want to deal with the 3.5-inch floppy, there are tools out there for Windows 2000 and XP to slipstream those drivers in. You can also slipstream service packs and other pieces of software too with those. I think the software is called Nlight. Yeah, well, it looks like we're starting to get somewhere. Go. Alright, so we'll do the normal. This part of the installs should be pretty standard, just like any standard desktop computer. This one, for whatever reason, is taking a little bit longer, but it does say please, so at least it's being nice. Still taking its sweet time with this please wait part. There we go. So we'll agree to the license terms. I still think there's an install on there, but we're gonna blow that away. But pretty much a rudimentary Windows XP install. The drivers are already on there. So as soon as we get Windows XP fully installed on here, we'll come back. And our Windows XP install is just about done. So I put the utility on a flash drive before I did this. It's going to be called this AAR-2400 Win2K SM. And you just gotta extract it somewhere. Super. Alright, so let's go to the C drive. And then you gotta install the program. You can just accept all the defaults. And that's it. So now I got the program installed. I did not put it on the desktop like I thought it did, but it just calls it Storage Manager. Nothing fancy at all. And there's really not much you can do here. It's a very, very simple card. This will tell you some of the things about the card. It'll give you the event log. Got some I/O stats in there. Tells you what kind of RAM's in there. Looks like it's a 16 meg. Oh, it's a 32 meg module. So you can actually put up to 128 megabyte ECC PC100 in here. And this will tell you about the hard drive that you're looking at. Same drill here, and it looks like there's a rebuild initiated, so probably when I set up the new RAID. But anywho, so that just about covers the setup and overview of this Adaptec RAID card. As you can see, there is a memory module right underneath there. So if you have any questions, comments, or constructive criticism beyond using a motherboard loose like this, please feel free to leave them in the comment section.